Blessed be everyone. Hello and welcome to another episode of Black Magic Talk. We have the very lovely and talented Kit Red with us today. We're going to learn all about her, what makes her tick, what path she takes, and we're just going to learn all we can about her. So, hi Kit, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Don't want to rub it in, but I'm in Florida where it's not snowing.
Where it's
I'm
not
sorry
snowing
for you
like it is here in Pennsylvania. We did get hit with a small snowstorm. We had about 6 inches out there. And of course, I noticed when I was going to my coven's house that it was snowing again. I'm like, it's snowing again, for heaven's sake. But we
God.
only got like another dusting. So I was just like, oh, welcome to, wintertime in PA. Of course, my man, he's from Minnesota. He goes, you think this is bad?
Oh, yeah,
I
he
went,
knows.
I'm not gonna say anything because I know Minnesota is just like 10 times worse. Um,
Goodness.
so, Kit, tell us about you, how you got on your path, and we'll go from there.
Oh, goodness. Where do I even begin? So I grew up in the South, so I would say that the bones of my practice is definitely rooted in Southern folk magic. But as I got older and, dipped my hands into other things, I'm very much, if I had to put a label on anything, it's more influenced by chaos magic, I would have to say. But I consider myself more of just generally a listener. I feel very intuitive and I pick up on these messages from wherever they are. If it's a good word, it's a good word. And um, that's basically my practice. I operate very intuitively and I don't really think too much about labeling anything. I just honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. And that's exactly how I like to operate because I feel like somebody does, and I'm just being influenced by whatever wave is floating by. And I just pick whatever is in the collective that's ripe at the moment. And it just works. So I just listen, I feel like, and that's the best way that I can describe my practice.
Yeah, that's good. That I mean, you wherever the wind takes you, I think that's
Exactly.
awesome. It's like um
Ever evolving.
yes. And we're always learning, in our practice, you always have to learn, you have to, as they say, roll with the punches, so to speak.
I'm willing to listen and talk to anyone. You know, I even love me some metaphysical Jesus. I will be up in church with my little notebook and everything, filtering out the messages, through other way. The church that I used to go to is actually pretty funny because they would call Jesus daddy. And that was a riot. I loved that. Couldn't Small doses, couldn't handle that too much, but yeah.
Interesting. I never heard of that one before.
Yeah. Now you
Well,
have.
so would you consider yourself pagan, Wiccan?
It could definitely be under the pagan umbrella for sure. Yeah.
So is there a certain god or goddess that you call to, or do you just use the generalizations?
So I have never been the type of person where I go seek out a spirit or a deity. It's usually I'm minding my business, doing some kind of operation on my own, and I feel the presence of something and I want to listen to whatever that is. So I have worked with Hecate, I have worked with angels, I've worked with Goetia. Again, I'm just listening, but Hecate is very present in my life, um, which for a while was very surprising because I did not feel connected to her for a very, very long time. So she showed up after I had my daughter, and it's like, yeah, time to boss up.
That's how Hecate did for me. I had my
Yeah.
son, and she's like, "Well, you need to follow another path, and here you
Mhm.
go. This is your other path."
Yeah.
Just recently, I had Odin kind of pop in. I'm like, oh boy, it's like having a tiger by the
Buckle up.
tails here, you know. Um, but he's been a testable one. He's
Mhm.
testing me. Um,
I definitely felt that with Akate when she first contacted me. I'm like,
mhm,
why you gotta be so intense? Well, Kit, you wouldn't listen if I was any other way. I feel like they come through where we are,
mhm.
you know, wherever you are, that's where you're at.
So, tell us, you do chaotic magic. Now, what does that entail? So, can that be done for everyday things, or is it more
Oh,
for?
absolutely. And I love doing it for the stupidest reasons. Just to purely have fun because I feel like I run my life fairly balanced. I don't really have a lot of drama or anything that I feel like I need to fix. And so sometimes I'll just want to play a little bit like, huh, I wonder if I can get everyone at work to want to change their hairstyle this week, or just something dumb like that. I use sigils. I use my art quite frequently in those things as hyper sigils and a lot of visualization. And I would have to say that I do not do the same thing twice. Any operation I do, there's always something a little bit different. I'm way too creative to be tied down by just the strict, methods. Although I am pretty methodical and strict when it comes to cleansing. That's something I would never skimp on, or protection. But yeah, a lot of my practice with chaos magic, especially, is just for really fun reasons. You know.
No, I think that could be kind of cool. Um, I could get my customers to stop saying, "Well, I'm stupid with a computer." Look, no one's ever stupid, okay?
Oh, girl,
You learn at your own pace. This is
that
how
was
this works, right?
you put me in front of a computer and I hear banjo noises. I cannot.
I
My
mean,
brain
but
turns into
that's
mashed potatoes.
right. I just wish people would stop saying that. No one's ever stupid when it comes to computers. Everybody learns at their same pace.
Yeah, stop calling yourself stupid. Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
that-
have some confidence in yourself. I mean, that's why they pay me the big bucks because I fix it, right? This is why you bring it to me and I fix it, right? Um, so tell me about, um, you know, when you do a ritual and I mean, and you get all into it and stuff. Now,
Mhm.
does your art and creativity go into that? I know you had said you
Oh,
were an artist.
it it is the ritual.
Okay.
And I there is no exception to this. Everything that I have created as an art form has been reflected outwardly. So I am very hesitant to create certain things. Like, for instance, a painting. I'll use an example. I was doing these doodles of skulls, these funky looking skulls, just
I love
repetitively a lot,
skulls.
again and again and
I
again.
love skulls. You just said the magic word.
Yeah, I love a little dead thing.
Yeah, yeah, I collect them. They're in my room.
But I remember that month was there was so much um death that month. I work alongside hospice at a facility,
Oh,
and
man.
that month it was a lot. And so sometimes I'm hesitant with creating things, and that is considered to be like a hyper sigil, especially if you're doing it more consciously. Um, but yeah, I'll I'm also a certified art therapy coach. And so this can be a very therapeutic thing. I encourage everyone to try. Let's say you're working on healing something. Art's so great for healing. I could go on and on about that, how it taps into our subconscious. But let's say you have an issue you want to heal. You can take these elements of that thing, of your trauma, and create images with it. Like, let's say something from your childhood. Okay, what image does your childhood represent? If you could if you could make it like an object or thing that you could put on paper, on canvas. And now you have a mix of all these different images. You can mash them together to create something really beautiful and transformative. And it taps into a really deep part of our subconscious when we do that. So art is very, very magical. It is a magical practice itself, I believe. I learned a lot about reading paintings, um, and other artwork by learning tarot. There's so much in tarot. I mean, I could go on about that too. That
Oh, please do. Please do.
like just everything from the color of the sky to what is at their feet, their position from left to right. And when you understand those things in the element of a card, you can really understand how to read a painting because they use the same thing. Everything had meaning. And we can do that within our lives too, right down to the way we dress ourselves. Like become the altar, become the walking spell. Everything you put in your body, everything you write out, everything you create, you are it all the time. It's so beautiful. I don't there's no big difference in my spirituality and my art. It's the same. It's so much of the same.
And I love that, because they say a lot of the art comes from the creation that is within us. And, when you have that trauma, it needs to come out, right? So, and it's such a productive way too.
Yeah. And that original spark, if you will, that
Yes.
that that gives us life source, God, whatever you want to call it, the creative part of ourselves is, I think, directly from that. And if you are someone who chooses to create, whether it be through magical working or painting, I feel like that is one of the highest honors, because you are using that original spark, you know, that was to create you and life and everything around you. Now you're also using that thing to create your reality around you. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I was just, thinking I love your tattoos. Even
Yeah.
body art can be very creative, channeling that inner creativity, and I'm just like I want to do it. But I want to create something really cool.
Yes.
If it's going to be on my body, I want it to be really cool, right?
And I swear the position on your body, where it goes, it is all so influential. Um, the skin and teeth, especially being ruled by Saturn, these are very big things in our lives. And when you mess with either one of them, you are going to see changes. I every piece of art that I have on my body, I did see it reflected outwardly afterward in my life, just as I've created a painting or anything else like that. Yeah. But yeah, make sure that it's significant.
So what made you was it the goddess that kind of, brought this creativity out and made you want to do painting? So have you been painting all your life or um
Everyone in my family is an artist, on
mhm.
some level. And as soon as they put a crayon in my hand, I was making art. I don't know anything else. It was never a choice. It just was, you know. Um, but always wanted to be an artist ever since someone said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?"
Because they were
And
looking for ideas, right?
yeah, right. But even since I was very small too, the spiritual aspect of it was always there as well. I remember making symbols and things in the dirt and talking with things in the woods and all of this, and learning things from my grandmother, which I didn't know was folk magic. It was, in the South, when they don't say magic, it's just a different way of praying. Granny magic, if you will. Some people call it that. And only later on, as I got older, did I understand what that was. And then I had a new appreciation for it. And I remember my grandmother, she also taught me, um, how to not be so frustrated with art, and I take that with me even still today. She'd be like, just draw a scribble and then see the images that can come out of it. That is a very powerful psychological exercise right there. That she was just like, oh yeah, just make a scribble and see what you can find. You know.
It's
Um,
almost like if you do candle wax reading, you stick
yeah.
the candle wax into the water and then you see the symbols or see
Mhm.
the pictures within the candle wax. That's
Like automatic
amazing.
writing. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Tell me a little bit about that folk magic. I'm really interested. Do you use herbs or is it just all like whatever you're in the mood
You
for?
you use what you got. And that's what it is. You use what you got. This originated a lot of like poor people, in the South, and I'm sure different regions have different ways of doing things. And from my grandmother and people around me, it wasn't so much of a strict practice as it was, like I said, a different way of praying, or there's a lot of superstition around things. Um, what not to do, what to do, and especially around holidays like New Year's and all the symbolism and everything. A bird means something. This means something. If you hear this, it means something. Your ears are ringing. It's just there's so much symbolism.
I
And
I always heard if your ears are ringing and you say the name of a person and your ears stop ringing, that person was thinking about you.
ooh, I'm not gonna forget that. I haven't heard that one.
Oh,
That tends to
yeah,
burn out.
my
Yeah.
parents would say that all the time. If your right hand itches, it means you're going to spend money. If your left hand itches,
Mhm.
you're going to get money.
Yeah,
No.
like the Southern folk magic. There's so much of that, you know,
Well, I
and like
came up to the
crazy
north.
things too that doesn't make any sense, you know. And I remember um my grandmother, she used to brush my hair and she would throw the hair outside in the yard. She's like, "Oh, the birds will make a nest around." That's like the opposite of what you're supposed to do because in tradition that makes you go crazy. So that's what's wrong with me. Thanks,
And
grandma.
I have never heard that. If you throw it outside, if you throw your hair outside from your bruch,
Yeah, a
you're
bird's
supposed
gonna
to
make
go
a nest
nuts?
with it, and you're gonna go insane.
Okay, I never heard that one.
If
Well, I
you
never heard of
have,
throwing your hair outside.
yeah, if you have a Bible, sugar, a brown paper bag, salt, a glass of water, you have almost everything you need for a practice in Southern folk magic. But again, like there's different regions that do it different ways and all of that. Um, and I'm not so strict with it. It's in my bones. It feels like home, It's something that I still really honor and keep close to me.
The birds just took my hair entirely. So
Right?
I knew you were gonna say that, Matt.
Mhm.
He just a little area up there, you know. uh, but
Oh yeah,
it
another
got
one we
down
were
here,
told,
right?
yeah,
don't
it
ever don't ever
migrated.
buy a man a pair of shoes. He will walk out of your life. That's another one. So many of those things.
Wow, I never heard that
That's
either.
like, there's no real, solid evidence, but when you've been told this and it happens, you believe it and it is real for you and you will manifest it for yourself. Somebody tells
Right,
me something like that, I can't unthink it. I'm like, okay, great. Now that's in my head.
right, right. Yep. I'll say things like, oh, what does my dad say? Because I'll have to edit this out probably. Um, oh shoot, because I was saying it the other day, and my man goes, "Only you and your dad say that. I've never heard that before." Oh, makes you want to wish your ass could spit tobacco, but it knows it can't chew. I say that all the
Great.
time. And my dad, because my dad will say it, and I'm just like, it just goes on, and you say it now, you know.
I remember
Uh
hearing if a bullfrog had wings, it wouldn't bump his butt on the ground.
Right, right. If a frog had wings, it
I'm
wouldn't bump
trying to
its
censor
ass.
myself, you guys.
Actually, I heard that one from that's funny. They did a music video to the Toby Keith and Willie Nelson. It's a song, and he he said, "I would have had that bad boy if you'd given me 2 more minutes." He's like, "Yeah, and a frog had wings, it wouldn't bump his ass."
Right.
That's the first time I heard that. I went, "Oh, that made me laugh." And my dad and I always got those kind of sayings, and
I
it's just that my man's never heard them. So
I'll try to think of new ones. See if they stick. Was what I thought of. It was like I used to tell my daughter, "You're a whole mess in a spoonful." That sounds like someone's been saying. You're a mess in a spoonful.
oh man, the things I could tell you about my son. I got a Scorpio, so I got a tiger by the tails here. he was I said he is my Sawin baby through and through. He could have waited 4 more days, but he came October 27th. And I was
Oh
like, oh.
wow! I bet is he gifted? I bet he's gifted.
He is, yeah. He can read chapter books. My ex and his wife just got him some Harry Potter books, and he's reading them like they're nothing.
That's so great.
I
I always,
asked, I was like, "Can I borrow the books?"
I always tell the kids, if you can read and write, you can do anything.
And he's really good at math. Really, really good at math. Yep. But again, got the tiger by the tails. And I was just telling my coven that literally my dad's an Aries, my mom's a Taurus. You can't make this stuff up. It's too cruel. So my dad's an Aries, my mom's a Taurus. I am an Aries Taurus, born on the cusp between Aries and Taurus.
Wow,
Yes.
that is something.
Yep. And then of course, my son is the odd person out. He's a Scorpio.
I made a
Woo!
Leo,
A
8-8,
Leo.
my Lionsgate baby. Yeah, she loves dressing up like a witch. And she used to do it a lot more frequently than she does now. And she said the funniest thing. I said, "Are you a witch?" She said, "No, I'm just a princess." And I said, "But do you have magic?" And she says, "No, but I have money." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I made a
My son does have a wand, and I tell him, "Now are witches bad?" He goes, "No, witches are good." Because I would tell him when he's younger, don't let anybody tell you that witches are bad. Witches are not bad people. We're all good, unless someone pisses us off, and then, well, you better run for cover, honey. There's a gentleman that I watch his show, and this has a Southern woman going, "I don't know if anyone's told you about us Southern women, but if you piss us off, you better start praying and you better start running." I said, "Honey, you've never seen a Northern woman." There is no praying. You just better run if you piss us off. I mean, us Northern women, yeah.
Yeah, y'all are gonna, and then we're gonna bless your heart to death, and then an older woman is gonna come in swinging.
I'm taking notes. Don't piss off women. Check.
That's right. You write that down. You don't piss off Northern women, and you don't piss off Southern women. I told my man that he's from Minnesota, so he's from the Midwest, and he just started laughing. He's like, "I've never had a Northern woman say that." I said, "Well, we're unique. What can we say?" Oh man, whew. Yeah, that those innuendos though can be they're funny as hell, but I mean, when I'm looking for something, and I have to ask Matt, I have to ask you to do this for me. I'm not good with words. So I'm kind of like, well, when I do a spell, I'm kind of like, oh boy, words are not my forte. So I just kind of go with the flow and try to, whatever Hecate kind of puts into my head, I just go with the natural flow of things. But I think um, having someone who is good with words um can also benefit you and be more creative in that sense. Mine is AI. I'm like, they're more creative with that because I'm like, just make a catchy thing. Do it now. Have you ever done poetry or anything like that? Because I know that can also be an art form.
Absolutely. Usually when I do poetry, I'm like in a really bad place, but
Oh
I haven't done
no.
poetry in a while. One thing that I have done this year, though, is not exactly poetry, but very powerful personal phrases that do rhyme. But, and this is also very chaos magic. I like loosely made my own language, and anything that is said in this language is truth and it is real, and I empowered it into making sort of like beautiful fluid blessings. Very, it is a little bit like poetry because I do want them to rhyme. But I really like doing that. And then, oh my god, if you plug that into like an AI music or anything, and like first like hearing this sounding like some ancient language for the first time, like it's amazing. I love it and I hate it. A great tool. I try not to use it too much in my spirituality, but it's fun.
Well, that brings a whole new meaning to use your own words or in your
Yeah.
own words.
Oh,
Flame, flame,
absolutely.
foo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's now when you paint, what
Mhm.
kind of painting do you use? So like what kind of paint
I
is
really
more
get
prominent for you?
into oils,
Oils,
especially. But
okay.
for many, many, many years, I was working with acrylic because I was
Okay.
very intimidated by oils, like a lot of people are. It's very intimidating, all the great masters and everything. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I remember one day I was so down and I'd been saying for so many years, oh, I'm going to pick up oil. And one day I pulled out one of my art books and I got out an image of the Virgin Mary. It was like one classical painting. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know the first thing what I'm doing. I'm just gonna get out these oil paints and just start going at it. And I cried buckets because I loved it so much. And I'm like angry at myself. I'm like, how come I had never done this sooner? I was so upset about that, but it just came to me. It really, really did. Like, and also like the channeling, I knew exactly what to do and how to play with it. And it was so beautiful. Now it's my absolute favorite thing ever is working with oil. I do work with charcoal too, but oil is one of my favorites. I have this huge big mama canvas across from me, which I am going to dedicate at least a year or two to one painting and not really work on anything else, which kind of takes some weight off of my shoulders, some pressure off my shoulders of thinking of all these different things. So I'm like, okay, we'll just do one. And it better be a good one, but we'll just do. But yeah, I
Well,
really
and
like that.
whatever would call to you, I guess.
Yes, yes. Always.
Now, do you sort of have like an idea in your mind of how you're going to paint, or do you just let the voices that you just let the spirit talk?
Well, the idea itself is definitely just like, there you go, can't have it. There you go. And I'm like, oh, thank you. But yeah, there's definitely like a technical side to the drafting and all of that that I gotta go through, which is like, oh man, we gotta do this first. But I am constantly receiving creative ideas. It is nonstop. I have stacks and stacks and stacks of composition notebooks just full of ideas. I'm like, I know I can't get it all out, but I'm gonna at least write it down. It's just like filling up the garage. It's like I write notes on everything. There's notes right in front of me on a cork board. There's notes over here. There's like at least 10 different notebooks on this desk. Just
Uh,
always,
my
all.
and that's a good thing. I really need to start doing that because my coven, uh, and my neighbors and my friends, she has like 4 notebooks of just spells, spells, spells. All she's written out, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like,
That's
I gotta.
something that I've always found really interesting. when I work a spell and I write it down afterwards, I document it, it seems to me to be more effective or work a lot quicker after it's been sealed and written down for some reason. I think that there's also like a
In your own
psychological
hand.
benefit too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I used to type them out and just print them out and put them in my, computerized book of shadows. And she's like, no, you need to write them down. Writing them in your own hand is more strong or
Yeah.
stronger. And she's so right. I so gotta get one. I've been so lazy lately. When you have 4 jobs, that'll do it to you. You're like,
Yeah. Well, I
"Ooh."
know.
But
These holidays recently, I've just done the lazy pagan thing and had like a fire about it, and then that was it. Go to bed.
I would just say a few words to the moon and
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's
Sleep is
really
delicious right now.
yeah, because I mean, like I gotta go to work in a few hours. Luckily though, my job, would work with me um to that they wouldn't step on the toes of my shows and I wouldn't step on their toes and be hopefully not be tired, but I can't help it. As you know, you have a daughter, I have a son. Trust me, you don't get much sleep.
No, and I gotta wake up at like 4:30 in the morning. I'm way more of a morning person. Y'all caught me on a good night. I got to take a nap today. Just rare.
Oh, I
So
am
my
so a
brain is
night
totally
person.
fried right now.
I hate the mornings. I'm just like, "Ugh. Oh, I'm back here again." Well, I will turn it over to Matt, and he can ask his questions because we do want to get those in. So go ahead and take it away, Matt.
I've got to ask about the weirdo paper because that stuck out to me immediately on your
Oh, yes.
webpage.
My greatest joy on earth, not people though, but my greatest joy of a thing is making paper. Now, when you're saying the weirdo paper, so I make handmade spiritual petition paper. Um, and this fits into anyone's practice. I use various different rare and unique ingredients. And things don't always go as planned. And I have a lot of rejects, if you will. I don't want to call them that. I'll call them weirdos because I still love them. They're like the little misshapen things that happen, a little crooked, a little weird here, and I didn't want anything to go to waste. That's another thing about paper making. It is all zero waste. I waste nothing. And I was like, well, I got all these like messed up sheets that aren't completely ruined. I'm gonna see if anyone wants them. And a lot of people really, really like them. I sell them for cheaper than the other paper goes, obviously. And yeah, I think it's a good start if anyone just wants to get a taste of what the paper looks like a little bit, before jumping into buying a pack. But yeah, that was a good idea to get rid of the weirdos.
No, I love that. Waste not, want not.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, wait.
William Blake. That's cool. William Blake said that the only way to have another golden age is through art. So I love that you're so into art. When did you
Totally.
start your business or your online venture?
Well, Cave Baby Creations is my brand, if you will, and that just encompasses all of my art. But the biggest one right now is my handmade petition paper. And I started that journey 3 years ago, also led by Spirit. And it has been my greatest joy because I get to see something that I created being used as a vehicle for someone's manifestations or for anything. I mean, whether you have a spiritual practice or not, you can have something that has these unique ingredients to you, and you can write your grandmother's recipe on it and put it in a frame, or you can write your prayers on it, or you can I tell people burn it and they don't want to. I spent days making this thing by hand. I'm like, just burn it. Put it in the fire. It's so pretty. No, it smells great. That's another thing too. A lot of them are scented. So when you burn them, it smells amazing. It also has like an incense to it. Yeah. There's been something I've been playing with, and I don't even know if it's possible. It would be so complicated, but I want to make a paper one day that changes color when you burn it. You know, those things that you add to the fire that make them all rainbow. And I'm like, I wonder if that's even, I'm still in contact with an old science teacher of mine. I'm like, how do we do this? Take me back to class. But yeah, I've got a lot of big goals with that. I'll be in Massachusetts in February, going to a few different places. I won't say where, but it's a pretty big deal to me. They're gonna get some of my paper. And
Congratulations.
thank you. We're gonna take it on the road. I just want everyone to be able to enjoy it and use it anyway. And that's another thing too. I always thought was very interesting and surprising. I'll still get questions like, how do I use it? And I'm like, it's paper. I don't know what to tell you. You can write on it, you can draw on it. It's paper, you know. I have some here so you can see the some of the textures. One of my favorite ones that I make, and it's my favorite because I haven't seen it anywhere else, is wasp nest paper. It is made almost entirely of wasp nests. And I have not seen wasp nest paper before. And I'm sure there's other people that make handmade paper, of course. There might even be people who make spiritual petition paper, although I haven't come across it. But I know that no one is making it like this, and I will not be humble about it. This is one of the sheets of the wasp nest. You can see, I don't know if that's too bright. And some people think that's thick. It's not. See, we could it's just like regular paper. We could fold it, we can burn it. But I'm always making it all the time. What this phone is sitting on right now is my paper station. And everything in here is being filled up with drying space for all of my creations. It's just overflowing out the door.
Have you ever had writer's block or the artist version of that?
Never.
Awesome.
And that sounds like torture. And I will say, especially with paper, and I know I can't take all the credit. I know I can't. I don't feel like I am in the driver's seat. I feel like I'm in the passenger seat of this, just being told what to do, because something has given me something to be able to do this. Because you could wake me up at 3 a.m, pour cold water on me and say, get to work making paper. I'll be like, yeah, like a golden retriever, just so ready to do it all the time. And I have never experienced that with anything. I mean, I love the process from the very beginning to the very end. Recently, I was making one of my best sellers, which is the most versatile paper, Big Daddy. He's got real money shreds, gold flakes. He smells amazing. But I made a bunch of Big Daddy papers, and I realized about 20 of these sheets, which took me quite a few hours to make. I'm like, they're just not good enough. I ripped them all up, and I felt nothing about it. And I'm like, I'll just make more. It's fine. I felt nothing. And that's how I know that something gave me something to be able to do this for other people. And I'm not going to take all the glory for it. I mean, Hecate has been a big influence. Even Archangel Gabriel has been an influence, has come through all these different energies, which are in the intention of the paper. They are alive. As woo-woo as that sounds, and I do have my feet on the ground, they are very alive. There is not one sheet of paper that I have made that didn't have an effect on me first before someone else. It's been pretty spooky. some of them. But like if I'm making a series of Big Daddy paper, I will get opportunities that week. If I'm making a series of my Valentine paper, people are a lot more sweeter to me, and things like that. So I really believe that there's something going on there, because there's no way that I could be this cartoon level enthusiastic about something all the time, like SpongeBob level enthusiasm.
Now, what is Big Daddy paper? Is that like paper you can write like a money spell on? Can you kind of explain
I
that?
will show you Big Daddy, because he loves attention. Oh my God. I wish there was smell-o-vision, because he has a sweet vanilla tobacco scent. And it is so good. And it smells so amazing when you burn it. Where are you? But yeah, he is the most versatile. He can be used for, also really great for ancestor work too, because there's coffee in it, there's tobacco, gold money. But I would say a lot of people use it for finances and everything. Like I think of like a very generous father figure type when we're talking about Big Daddy. But this is Big Daddy. If you can see him, he's got the real money shreds in there. This one's a bit thin, so he's really easy to fold and easy to burn. Oh, it smells so good. And I do make different sizes of these, but this is this size here. There was one series of Big Daddy I had real diamond dust in there, but that went into Money Honey more than Big Daddy.
So you
maybe
just write your spells down and then into the
you
flame
can
it
write
goes?
your spells down. You can draw sigils on it. You can write a prayer on it. You can write your goals on it. You can write, keep this in your wallet with, a money goal. That would be really good too. Again, there's so many uses for paper. Oh, ooh, I wish you could smell this. But right now available on cavebabycreations.com. Right now available, I think we have at least, I would say 5 or 6 different series up right now, but I'm constantly making more, and I'm preparing for the paperversary in February and launching some new things. I've brought back some old stuff, which some of them I've been a little bit nervous about, because they're the ones that I was hesitant to making because of the effect on some people. I just re-released by request of many people, Cupid's steel chair. Remember, we're talking about wrestling. Cupid's steel chair is like a love spell that will knock you on your butt. I mean,
I thought
and
you were going to say it's a naughty, naughty spell.
it can be, but I also feel like it's a bit dangerous. So it came with a warning, and you only get one in a pack, because there was a couple of people that had some crazy situations. One woman, she was in her 40s and she did not expect this. She got pregnant and had an obsessive, person following her around. But one person came to me and said, I have a great idea for this paper, which I thought was the most responsible way of using it, is that they were a social media influencer and they wanted to use that on their followers to get them like sucked in, get them clicking and everything. I was like, oh, that's a great way to, not have to get a restraining order. That's the way to go.
That's why I don't like to say my son's name, because, I just don't want
That's
that
smart.
obsessive person. There's always one, even for this
Yeah.
show. I'm sure there's people that are really obsessed and they
There's
would really
always
like
a
to know
creep
where
out
I
there.
live.
Yeah. There's always a creep out there. Some new ones I'm going to be making, because I didn't really go towards the like defensive or baneful intentions with the paper just yet, but I think that we're there. One of the ones I want to make is like back off, which is kind of self-explanatory. and I got some beautiful uh, rattlesnake fangs that will be imprinted into the paper, as well as like the snake skin. I use snake skin often. I have in Hecate paper, I have the snake skin in there, and then I have regular just snake skin paper. But that always looks so beautiful embedded in there. I love using that. But yeah, back off is going to be one that I think would be great to incorporate. A
I could
couple other
really
ones
use
that I'm not
that.
going
So
to
you'll just write the name of the person you want to back off and then put into the
exactly.
fire?
Yep, just like how you would with a regular petition, if you're going to go with that intention, it just kind of amplifies it. You're the vehicle for writing is also a part of the spell, or it could be the spell itself if you wish to do it that way. I think it's so beautiful and powerful to know that you're writing on those ingredients, on the intention itself. You're like, as you're writing, you're telling those ingredients what to do, which is really cool.
So, guys, check out her description field. Her links in the description field, man. I got to get me some of that because there is someone I want to back off really bad.
Yeah, send me whatever address that I would love to send you some paper. I would love to send you some goodies.
Oh, man.
And I
Trust me,
really appreciate you having me on.
the one thing about the hot, hot, hot love between me and my man, because he is my soulmate. Trust me, we don't need any more hotter.
You're right. My
Until I get
Valentine
home.
would be better for that. My Valentine is like a sweet group of cherubs that just calms everything down and puts rose-colored glasses on everything. Also smells really amazing too. This whole box smells like my Valentine. Smells like a vanilla and roses. It's so good.
Okay. How about jasmine? Do you use jasmine in anything?
I have not used jasmine yet. That is
Okay.
not something I have used yet. I'm sure it will come up.
Okay. And lavender, like calming, nighttime paper, maybe so to calm you.
I had one that was for enhancing intuition and lucid dreaming and such. And I think that that one definitely did have lavender, and it had lavender, it had mugwort, it had some other elements in there. Wow, I almost forgot that I made that. I made that years ago. We gotta bring that back. But I think it was called Third Eye paper, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I definitely need that too. Again, guys, bring in. Yeah, This is why we're interviewing Kit because we want that. Special message to go out, and if you like what you hear, click the link in the description field and order yours today because before they go out, because she can always remake them, but you want to get yours before they're all sold out.
Now, does it
All right.
say the effects on the web site per the
Yes,
paper?
it does.
Okay.
With every description, it will say the suggested uses and also its personality, if you will, and what intentions you can use it with. Try to be as clear as possible. Pretty soon, I'm gonna, make a video describing everything because I guess it still is confusing for some people. Like, what do I do? I'm trying to be as clear as I can. But yeah, with every one, you get a description, and when I mail them out, there's even a little paper description too, which is helpful.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That Big Daddy reminds me of Papa Legba a bit, if you're familiar.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Daddy
Awesome.
He's come through before. Yes,
See,
and
I see a lot of
that would be
crossroads.
Papa Legba. Absolutely. I mean, this is pretty much universal with any spiritual practice that you have. You can there's something for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. I will have to buy some paper and write a poem and maybe see if I could sell it that way and make it more. Uh, although I could think of a lot of uses. I mean, that's I'll have to check that out. That's really cool. Do you burn incense when you make paper, or do you have any special way of?
There are some papers that can be demanding and that have certain like structures of how I make it. It can be very ritualistic, especially the first time that I make one. Usually like the third or fourth time, it's but the first time can be very ritualistic. But like if I make my Valentine, the intention with that is it's love, but it's calm love. It's sweet love. It's not like hot and heavy. And everything has to be calm around. And I will burn incense and I will make the mood. And I'll notice like if I have been on the phone venting about a bad day at work or something, and I'm making paper and it's just not going right. It's tearing. There's all this mishaps. Like it doesn't like conflict, you know. There's I'll talk to myself or like sing songs to myself. There's certain things that it doesn't like me to do. And I'm like, okay, this thing, like I've created an entity with this thing. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this and I'm gonna make it calm. Um, but yeah, some of them just behave really well when the environment is right.
Have you ever thought about charging more for paper that you make for the first time, since there's something more to it? I mean, it sounds like.
Well, with certain papers, they'll have like rare ingredients or sometimes expensive ingredients. Like I have some that have diamond dust. I have some that have moldavite chips in them, and those definitely have to go for more. But I've gotten a pretty good method now, and I want it to be like I want there to be like tiers, you know, like I want it to be like affordable for everyone, like for any price range. Like if you can only afford this kind, or if you want to step it up and get the fancy ones, you know, I have an area for that too. I want it to accommodate everybody so everyone can use it, because that is a goal of mine. I just want everyone to experience it.
Do you find any particular environment more inspiring? Like, I guess,
Um, if I'm facing east, that's usually very good if I'm first starting out with something and doing like the drafting process of getting things together and all of that. But then after that, it's just kind of it's intuitive, you know. Okay, what do you want? Tell me what to do, you know, and I'll just obey. Again, like I don't know what I'm doing entirely. That's how I like it. So things just work out. I'm just like, just use me. I'm listening.
yeah, I write, so I totally get that. Have you
But yeah,
ever been
so
inspired from
you
dreams?
know that flow. Oh, and it's so juicy.
Yeah,
It is so
it,
juicy. And you're
yeah.
like,
I
where
got my
did it
son
come from? You know?
right, right. The comedian Mitch Hedberg was saying, "I'll wake up at 2 in the morning and I'll think of a joke, and I got to go write it down or talk myself into that it's not funny." You know.
Yeah.
Do you ever get inspired from dreams?
Um, I have had like spiritual contact in dreams that was influential on doing something, but nothing has ever popped up in my dream to say, make this, you know? But yeah, they have been influential for sure. I've had plenty of spirit communication that comes through in dreams. Um, but y'all got me thinking about that third eye paper now. I think
Me too,
we're both on
honestly.
a team. I think that this is something like floating by. Like we gotta catch that.
Yeah, I would be interested in getting some of that. Absolutely.
And it's gotta smell really good. So you can get it through your pillow, you know, or something.
That's what I was just gonna say. Put it under my pillow to sleep with. Yes.
Hey.
Well, I write short stories, and I can't tell you how many of my stories have come from a dream. Like literally, and they're mostly romance. They are all romance, with some spicy scenes in them. But I mean, still,
Yeah.
it came from like a dream. I'm like, why did I dream about that? There's a reason why I did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, it's important what you put in your head, because then that will inspire you somehow. Um,
Yeah, it's like plant a little seed, go throughout the day, and then like let it cook in there while you're sleeping, you know?
Now, how do you decide on a painting that's going to take you a year or two? That seems like so much dedication to one project.
I don't know.
I
I
love
don't
that.
I can actually tell you what this one's going to be. I really there's been a couple of, well, one drawing, but a couple of paintings that I've made with animals with blind eye. You ever seen it like a cat or dog with a blind eye? And it's almost like this blue glazed over. So I want a blind, screaming macaque monkey, and he's going to be holding treasures, going, like this is mine, and like this is kind of my symbolic way of saying like, F you, I'm taking what's mine, what I earned, what I deserve now. And that's what I see it as. And it's like that screaming macaque monkey is also kind of symbolic of this feminine rage that has been built up where I'm just like, lost it. And it's like, I'm taking what's mine now. So that's what that's going to be. And I will take as long as I need to finish that. It's going to be a process, but I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it.
Now, do you work like for hours at a time, or is there a good amount?
For painting, it really depends. I mean, with my schedule and everything, if I could have it my way, it would just be hours. And I do use turpentine when I oil paint, so that's not the best thing to be huffing for a long period of time. It could make you very sick. So yeah, it will just depend on the day, really, of how much and how inspired I feel for that. Now that's just painting. Like if we're talking about paper, you could all day, every day, right now, right this very second. But painting, I gotta be in the mood. Everything's gotta be right. It's gotta be scheduled right because you gotta take everything out and factor in like, is it ventilated enough and drying time and all that mess.
Cool. Well, we just have a few minutes left. Do you have anything that you maybe haven't said that you want to bring up? Or
Well, I'm just very appreciative that you let me come on here to rant and ramble because I've had all these things tangled in my brain and I haven't been able to say them to anybody. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
yeah, it's awesome having you on.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the paper. I mean, I can't. You said you could do it just if you were doing it like right now, like right this second. You could just
Right
do it.
now. I swear, like right
Right.
now, any time I could be, and I have been so beat down, exhausted, but something is calling me, and I will still do it with the same love and enthusiasm as I did from the very start, which I can only see as just a gift. Someone was
Right.
like, we're gonna let Kit do that, you know? Here you go. She can do that. We'll just let her do all of that. I'm like, okay. But you got to give me some energy. Okay, we'll do that too. Because
There, eat,
I
eat a
was
little
never
bit.
like this before. You can never like, pick me up and plop me down and say, paint right now. You know.
How about any
Uh,
music or movies or anything that
I was just
inspires
gonna
you?
say, when you're making paper or you're painting, is there any kind of music that just gets your soul going and
Personally, uh, and I don't know why this is, but I just have not been interested in music, and that sounds really crazy, but I will put on something like ambient for the paper or whatever. But I don't know, I feel really repelled by music a lot lately. Maybe it's just modern times and I keep picking up on similar sounds again and again. Um, but there'll definitely be like some sort of ambient video, ambient sound, or even a conversation like how I mentioned I was, venting to somebody about having a bad day at work. I'll make sure that like, oh, I haven't checked in on this person in a while. That'd be really cool. I'll talk to them while I make my Valentine and just nurture that energy, that's going in it.
And that's almost kind of like a spell in a sense.
Yes. And again, like back to what we were talking about in the beginning, like from what you wear to what you speak to what you eat, just how you are walking through life. Have that be your creation, have that be your spell. With everything you do, make it romantic, make it meaningful. Because I feel like, your spirituality is your relationship with life itself and what that really means to you on a deep level. And you can make that anything. Doesn't have to be sitting in front of an altar. It can be anything. And I think that's what a lot of people, and especially people starting out, I wish that I could shake them and cram that into their brains. Like, no, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect on your altar and this and that. Like, it can be mundane as long as it feels really good to you. And you connect to it. That is powerful. Whatever it may be.
Yeah, have passion for what you do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was a great interview. Thank you so much, Kit. We have to have you back because we need to learn more about you, especially about that paper. Because I'm gonna write down. I want this one. I want that one. I want that one.
Maybe next time I'll do like a demonstration. We'll show you how to make it and how you burn it and how
we'll have
love
fun. That. I would love that.
We'll have fun.
I would love that. Oh my God, I would love that. So anyway, that's it for us today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And like I said, if you want to learn more about the beautiful Kit Red, her links will be in the description field. Please click on it and get your paper today before it goes out of style. I'm telling you guys, these things are going to go like hotcakes. I'm telling you. Just for me by myself.
Right now. It's 10 o'clock.
Just for myself. I'll be like, my man will be like, you're running up a heck of a bill. I'll be like, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. If you have any other questions for us, you can always get a hold of us. You can DM Matt or myself, and we will get back to you in our own times. I can't tell you, I have just been so busy lately. Woo! It's a wonder I ever slow down. I'm sure it is for you too, Kit.
Oh yeah.
But thank you so much for coming on. And guys, like I said, her links are in the description field. If you have a question for her, you can get a hold of her. How do they get a hold of you, Kit?
Instagram, Cave Baby Creations, Cave Baby, one word _ creations. And then also my store is www.cavebabycreations.com. And you can even add me on Facebook. I'm on there as Kit Red. And that's it.
Okay. I mean, do what the woman says and she won't put a curse on you. No, I'm just kidding. She's been a wonderful guest and we will have her back, but I would like to thank everybody. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kit. And thank you everyone for watching. Blessed be everyone.
Thank you.
Later. Blessed be everyone. Hello. I just want to let everyone know that the outro music is AI generated. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. And also, if you would like to generate your own AI, the link in the description field will be for their website. Blessed be everyone.
In the woods where the whispers run deep, underneath the moon, where secrets we keep, she dances in the shadow with the silver tide. Candles flicker soft, guiding light as a guide. Her altar's filled with herbs and old charms, lost in ancient spells, safe in her arms. Stars weave a tapestry across the black sky. With a chalice raised high, she lets out a sigh. With her sacred circle drawn tight, calling to the spirits in the quiet of the night. Her magic's in the earth, the wind, and the seas. She whispers ancient words, swaying like the trees. In a grove of oaks, where the world stands still, she gathers her strength with every Sabbath thrill. The moon's tender gaze, casting shadows cold, the stories of her craft in the twilight retold. The broom by her doorstep, sweeping away all the dark shadows of yesterday. With the cauldron bubbling, herbs to the air, every spell she casts is a heartfelt prayer. With her sacred circle drawn tight, the night. Her magic's in the earth, the wind, and the seas. She whispers ancient words